Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I'm your host, Kavita, and the founder of Power Purpose Play, a global community of women in midlife. I'm here to tell you that it's your time now to rediscover what has always been inside of you and bring that out into the world. If you're wondering what's next, but don't know quite what that is, or if you feel a twinge in your heart telling you that you have so much more to do and so much more to offer, you're in the right place. Ask yourself, if not now, when? Do you want to leave your job, start your own business, take control of your health, reignite the passion in your marriage, write that book, or at least that first chapter? Transitions like this can be daunting, but through listening to my story and interviews with incredible women every week, I hope to inspire you to take action. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. This week is a very special episode for me, as I'd like to celebrate a few things. Firstly, our podcast is 1.5 years old, and this is our 72nd episode. It's so hard to believe. When you set your mind to something, initially it seems so daunting, but before long, it becomes second nature. Secondly, I'd like to celebrate you, our listeners, for tuning in every week and for sharing our podcast to your friends and family. You are the reason I'm doing this, and it is you I have in mind as I record my solo episodes and interview incredible women every week. Thirdly, I'd like to celebrate each and every one of my wonderful guests who have shared their stories, their experiences, their knowledge, and wisdom, so we can all learn and apply these key takeaways into our own lives. On that note, this episode I am dedicated to bringing out one key takeaway which stood out for me from each episode, so I hope you enjoy it. We are also honored and humbled to have been selected as one of the top 20 midlife women podcasts on the web. I'm thrilled to know about that, and we often don't know if our efforts are being recognized, but this honor gives me the encouragement that our work is being appreciated. I thank each and every person who listens, contributes, and shares this podcast from the bottom of my heart. People often ask me, why do I highlight other women in my podcast? I say to them, why not? We all have our unique stories and experiences, and if we can't learn from one another, what is the point? I believe in the abundance of the universe, and by sharing and collaborating with one another, we all win. So I am choosing to share with you a key takeaway from each of our amazing guests today. I'd love to hear from you. Which resonates with you and why? Send me a DM or an email. Before I share these nuggets, I'd like to remind you of an upcoming opportunity to be part of a group coaching program called It's My Time Now, starting the week of October 17th for 6 incredible and transformational weeks of discovering who you are, what you really want, and how to get there. I'm only opening this up to 10 women, so if you're interested in more information, click the links below in our show notes or send me an email at kavita@powerpurposeplay.ca. Before I get to the key takeaways, I'd like to remind you why I created this podcast. The first episode was launched on International Women's Day in 2021, and I spoke about the theme of Choose to Challenge. This podcast was created to really celebrate you. It is to remind you that you can do great things, small or large, regardless of your age or circumstances. You are unique, and only you have the unique combination of skills, talents, values, and experiences that you possess. Make this next stage of your life the best stage ever. Follow your passions. Listen to your inner voice, which is telling you something. Try not to be limited by your own thoughts and develop the courage to take the first step and then the next. That is my message to you, and I'm here for you if you need help along the way. So, now to some of the most memorable takeaways from our beautiful guests. Our first episode was kicked off by my good friend and coach extraordinaire, Vicky Bradley. And she said, "Change is not easy, but hugely gratifying once you make the leap because you're more in alignment with who you are meant to be. Sometimes staying the same is more painful than the change." Next came Cherie Clark. You don't have to make quantum shifts. Courage doesn't mean doing unsafe things. Don't be afraid to peek out and push the edges. Push the door open before you fling it open. Isabel Fish. If you want to change things, start from a place where you have someone or a system that gives you the confidence to change and gives you the strength to face the obstacles. Robin Joy Myers. You always have a choice to take a chance to make a change. Belinda Clemenson. If not now, then when? And if not you, then who? Linda Rossetti. Transitions include moments when there's a shift in what holds value and meaning to us. They require us to re-examine our assumptions about our identity, our capacity, and our values. Lisa Matam. Ayurveda is taking yoga off the mat, taking mindfulness and consciousness and bringing it to the way you live. Ayurveda says we should take care of our beauty because our bodies are houses of our soul. It's the science of life. Maria Leonard Olson. Bloom where you are planted. Janet Olmsted. Change is possible, and life is worth playing for. Emily Barros. Achieving our dreams and goals in life, it's important, and sharing your story is also important. Michela DiCarlo. There is an aura of frumpiness around middle age, and the only way to challenge the stereotype is to change the narrative. We, as middle-aged women, are much more than golf tournaments, apple pies, and cashmere cardigans. Erica M. We are all in a state of reinvention throughout our entire lives. It's a really important thing to evolve as people and to listen to where you are in your stage of life and do things that matter to you as you evolve. Sandra Pierce. We shouldn't be ashamed of being worried about our financial situation. We are all capable of managing our own investments and shouldn't have to wait till a divorce, retirement, or widowhood to figure it out. Dr. Nicole Cutts. The heroine's journey is a model for life. Each heroine has to figure out what they need to do to disarm their threshold guardian. You might need to run at it, you might need to fight it, you might need to befriend it, or understand it. Alexandra Stockwell. In the context of a long-term relationship, everything that isn't sex is foreplay. Caroline Brookfield. There is a comfort zone, a growth zone, and a panic zone. The trick is to find the edge of your comfort zone into your growth zone without going into your panic zone. Dr. Rupinder Tour. I no longer have a bucket list. I have another list, and it rhymes with bucket. Carolyn Ray. Travel is a wonderful mindset on how you view life. When you look at things through a lens of curiosity, it changes the way you look at everything in your life. Dina K. Martinez. Gen X women. We're just getting started, and numerology validates that. It's about setting life goals, not retirement goals. Wendy Thomas. Think, what are your strengths? What is under the hood of your car? What do you envision for yourself? Neela White. Women as a whole are disproportionately affected by caregiving, whether raising a young family or taking care of aging parents. El Ayubzadeh. Walk how you want. We listen to so many others, and we forget to listen to ourselves, to our own voice. Ashton Applewhite. Ageism is a discrimination and stereotyping on the basis of age. It is a set of ideas and social practices and the notion of making any kind of generalization about a person or a group of people on the basis of how old you think they are. Patty Pokerchuk. If you're not living on the edge a bit, you're not living. If something you do doesn't scare you a bit, then you're not growing. Janine Letford. Cultural competence is your ability to be observant of different cultural situations, and you are able to see the complexity within them. Sarah Arnell. We all have moments when we are going through life and something just stops us in our tracks, and it makes us realize this can't go on anymore, when we realize we need to make a change. Karen Herbert. Set an intention for the empty nest years. What are you waiting for, really? Be intentional in what areas of your life you want to create a new vision for yourself. Deborah Gillis. Suicide remains one of the deeply stigmatized issues in this mental health space. It's important to open the conversation on suicide. Having role models who say to you, "You're not alone in this," is a really powerful tool for people that offers them hope. Sherry Leratt. You just have to look at nature. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and the butterfly comes out of the cocoon, and a seed needs dark, and it doesn't come up until it's ready. Cynthia Hastings James. Just believe in yourself. It's not easy, but try something. Take a little risk and put yourself out there. Make yourself uncomfortable, and you can surprise yourself about what you can actually do if you get over that immediate fear. Lisa Kelly. There's still a stigma around addiction. If you're asking yourself if you have an issue, you might, and there should be no shame or guilt in seeking help. Jill Lubinsky. If it's not me, who's going to look after me? Who would and who should? If it's not me who loves me, who would and who should? Renee Washington. Start listening to the whispers. What has been suppressed must be addressed. Jewel Veach. Extract the nuggets of gold from your experiences in life, and then weave those pieces together to create this next chapter, this next masterpiece of life or reinvention that we are stepping into. Tanya Willis. We want you in your 80s to be living a vibrant life. What can you do now so you have that vibrancy, that energy, so you can move without aches and pains? Shay Stone. Once you put one foot in front of the other, it's like a video game. Every time you take a step, more of the things illuminate in front of you. You see more, and then you can figure out where you want to go. Libby Wildman. Liminal means to be on the precipice of something new, but not quite there yet. These are transitory periods in our life. Let's try and get a little insight into each other and understand small aspects of each other's stories so we can make these transitions easier. Lori Sates. A lot of us are taught that if we see something, then we'll believe it. But how it really works is if you believe it first, then you will see it. Samra Zafar. Healing is not a linear journey. You don't move on from trauma. You move on with it. Those experiences have left permanent imprints on our brains, bodies, and minds. Healing is a lifelong journey. Rebecca Reynolds Moore. If more women started and ran their own business and had a voice in how to run businesses more humanely, we could make a paradigm shift in how businesses are run. Anissa Buckley. Untethering means unattaching yourself from what society says a 50-year-old woman should be and what she should be doing. Liz Solar. We have many drafts and chapters in our lives that we are always updating. Listening to negative stories about ourselves will silo us to the point where we feel we really can only do one thing, which is totally not true. Mimi Bishop. Gen X women have been hidden for a long time, but also have been the generation to bridge the divide between the boomers and the millennials. Jack Perez. Normalizing aging means we as women have to stop judging one another. We should all feel empowered by each other's decisions and choices and have room to not to judge. It would be really wonderful if we gave each other more room to express ourselves and make choices for ourselves that have nothing to do with impressing anyone else. Deb Voorhees. Women in midlife have lived experiences. We've done budgeting, people management, event planning, organization, crisis management. You've used humor or tears to get through things. It's dismissive of society to think that women who are mid-stage of life can't continue to contribute. Stephanie Raffelock. Older women are the magicians of the culture. They have time to contemplate and reflect on life, and then shine that light for the women that stand behind them. Tara Baldwin. By slowing down, we're able to listen to those whispers and actually hear your body. Use your body as a tool to unblock or let go of things that are in the way of your goals in a way that rewires the nervous system. Brianne Ligori. Shift from a TGIF mentality to finding it today. Use the formula purpose plus people plus pace over the power of choice. Debbie Sluice. The power of vision boards is the be, do, and have, not the other way around. Emmy Rousseau. Self-love is your first and most important love and is how you actually serve the world best. If you start serving from your overflow, everyone is served 1,000,000 times better, including yourself. Helen Hirsch Spence. Don't ever think it's too late to do anything. It's not. We all don't know how long we have left, but if you can find something that you believe in, it can add 7.5 years to your life. Helena Neal. Many social, cultural, and gender norms, as well as race, ethnicity, and the double-blind bias, hold women back from leading and being more visible. Women are often having to balance likability and competence. Diana Dunbar Place. I'm the driver on this bus. I get to decide which direction we go, and we have a finely tuned GPS inside, and we've got to listen to it and know when we are off course. And my final message to you from me is this. My vision is to give you a glimpse of yourself beyond anything you can imagine. I want you to experience more happiness, more hope for your future, more excitement for your next journey, more confidence in yourself, and a greater understanding of your true purpose and power in this next chapter of your life. I hope these pearls of wisdom from my guests and from me help you in your life. I will continue to pour my heart and soul into helping make sure your next chapter is your best ever. I'll be off for 2 weeks taking some time for play in Portugal. Please remember to apply for our upcoming group coaching program starting the week of October 17th. And remember, my friend, if not now, when? Till next time, stay well and stay safe.